Hey, so I am Mandy and I'm on my first surrogacy journey, which is, just at the beginning. So I don't even know if I could say I'm like on the journey yet, but we are getting things done for it, and these are all necessary steps. So I wanted to talk today about the psych evaluation, and we had to turn in our ID, not turn in, we had to send pictures of like our IDs and health summaries, and they're waiting for like different records to come in and do criminal background checks. But with the psych evaluation, it's kind of that next step that you set up with the counselor, and she was able to meet on a Sunday and we got it done. So I'm done with like the assessment, which is like PAI, I think. PAI. And it's just one that's really common with surrogacy stuff, and it's about 375 questions, and it took me a good while. And it's one of those that is kind of tricky, but you try to just like answer it with your first instinct. And I had to go back on some because I think I answered it opposite because some of the questions were just like the double negatives kind of threw me off, and normally have more test anxiety, but I felt pretty good about this one. My husband and I met with a surrogacy counselor. I think she probably does all sorts of counseling, but was able to do that. And we got a sitter, so Lily had someone to be with. My husband, because I was like, I know parts of that went well, but what about these parts? And I've been pretty nervous, but my husband thought it went really well. I thought he did really well because he is super on board, super supportive, and the way he talked about a relationship was cute. I just love hearing him talk, but they really only have like 2 questions, at least in my meeting, for the husband, just to make sure like where he's at in the journey and if we both understand some of the steps of it. The question for sure that threw me off though was at the end. I think it was like the last question possibly, where she said, "What are you gonna do with the money?" And it kind of came out of nowhere. Like we were talking about more, like, did you do this illegal thing? Have you done this before? Have you tried, different drugs? And how's your alcohol intake? And like emotional stuff. But then it was like, and now what are you going to do with the money when you receive it? And if you're going into this, you're not thinking about the money as like the number one thing, but you are kind of thinking about like how that is going to provide for your family. And I wish I would have said something like that, like it will, help me provide for my family in some way. And I still answered it fine, but I'm like, maybe she's gonna find an issue that I said like we're gonna, pay off our debt and we're gonna save, and then, like I just got so nervous like how much to expound on stuff. And sometimes I wish I would have said more with like why I see a counselor once a month, and I feel like a nutcase now like the way I answered it. And I'm trying to think like another question that threw me off. Yeah, there was like another one that was like, do you have issues with your family? And it was like not even issues, it was just like, how is your communication with your family? And I'm not very good at communicating with my family at this stage. And so I know, I just thought like, oh, how does that reflect? And is that gonna be the reason I can't do this thing? And I wish I could have expounded more and seen like where she was at and if she would understand some of my boundaries and stuff going on. And I did try to explain it appropriately, but I got worried about like, does it sound really crazy that I see a counselor? And my husband was like, no, that is so like of the past mindset. Like that is years ago. Our generation gets it a lot more. So besides those 2 things, I felt really confident about how it went, and I've just kind of been still nervous. Like I want to hear back what we got, and she said that she was going to work on it that day and it would only take a few hours, and then we should hear back within 24 hours and for sure within 1 week. So I'm trying to give it just a little more time in case my intake coordinator from the agency just like had the day off or something, but she hasn't gotten back to me. But my thought is, if it went terribly, I bet they would have been like, all right, you failed, you're out right away. Like I think that would be an easy email to send. I don't know. So we are waiting to hear back, and it is something. Yeah. Just every email gets me so excited and I want to know. I will try to add how long each step has taken. We'll do like another video just to like see my experience, because every experience is going to be different, especially in that contract phase, which is coming up. But I think we're looking at this all taking about 6 months to get set up. And that feels good. That feels kind of quick. And I guess it totally varies for when you get pregnant, because of pregnancies aren't 100%, even with IVF and everything you do. Psych evaluation, you just try to answer everything honestly and don't take it, super heavy. I think if you care about what you're doing, you're gonna care about the meeting going well. But if, the counselor's sweet like mine was, not a big deal. And I heard that, if you do just fail it, you can ask them why. And then, if you're passionate about doing this, hopefully that's something that they can tell you that you can work on. And maybe you can reapply at some point. I don't know. But that was good to hear when I, did more research and heard that, some people had to share some stories, of their past. And they still made it through. So, hoping to hear back soon, because an answer is just good. And you know what? If I don't get to do any of the surrogacy, it's all good. I've got this sweet little baby to raise and other things going on in my life, like other careers and stuff I can pursue. But I definitely have my hopes up. I really want this, and I really am excited to meet our intended parents and help them grow their family and to be pregnant again. I feel for these people that want to have a baby through a surrogate, and I just can't wait. I really am really excited for this, and I hope this is our timing, and it's really causing me to slow down and reflect and pray and just hope, because I just feel so excited and passionate about it. But that is all for this update. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be updating you soon about whatever else comes up.